circulation business. Whereas going forward 5 years from now, digital media will pose a serious threat to. So we find that as of now, their strategy is flawed.
And adding to his point, I would like to mention that the company has made some abnormal gains in the last year. So likewise, the other income was 46% of the core EBITDA margin, and we believe that the same trend is not going to persist in future. Besides, the company has got some tax credit on account of loss-making acquisitions. So the total tax payment for the company was only 0.5 crores on 246 crores of profit. So this trend will not be continuing for the future, and there will be a Y-on-Y decline in the coming year.
There was extraordinary income of around 130 crores from the sale of business this year, which we don't expect moving forward to continue for a long period. So that if you see the here PAT margin is very healthy. If you look into the core EBITDA margin, over the last 3 years, because of the acquisitions, core EBITDA margin is declining, whereas the company, because of other income, has been able to sustain higher PAT margins. So we have drilled down into the reasons for why the company has given such a high PAT and whether it is sustainable over a period of time or not. And we reached to a conclusion that it's not.
So, and this chart I would like to show that it's a comparative of the 4 companies in the pay companies. The pre-tax revenue growth for other than Jagran for other pay companies are on the higher side than we compare that. Also,
now tell me, if I have to sell Jagran, would you suggest that I buy any of the other ones?
They are relatively in a better position than Jagran. And also,
so it's more of a company-specific risk than an industry risk.
More of a company-specific, exactly, because these 3 players are playing.
But then isn't digital going to affect everybody else?
But ST Media is, the management also said that they would be looking at a digital as an opportunity. They would be like launching some platforms in that. While Jagran in that, they have given the press release statement, they have said that they digital, they have not any plans to go extensively into digital.
When you say digital, it means internet or includes the electronic television?
Internet and electronics.
Do you know out of 40 news channels, how many are making profits in India?
So,
out of 40 news channels, electronic, how many are making profits right now in India? Because when you said ST Media is going into bad business, basically just do a research or a homework on that, most of them are making profits.
so it's, yes, they are making losses, but the point is they are actually distorting their revenue. The print media takes on revenue. The Jagran Production Limited has around 70% of its revenue from advertisements, and it is because of digital, it is taking hit on its revenue stream, main revenue stream, and the circulation revenue, which is around 30% of its total revenue, is going to take a hit because of the increasing raw material prices and depreciating currency, which has depreciated in last 1 year considerably. So, because of all these reasons, we conclude that yes, it's probably not a right stock.
Besides, JPL is following a different policy altogether. The other brands are going for consolidating their position. One of the major factors that influence the ad revenues in the print media industry is the subscriber base of the circulation. We see that over the past few years, the Dainik Jagran, which is the flagship brand, has been neglected, and the company is focusing on inorganic growth, and it has acquired some of the major other brands. So, due to which the company is losing its market share in some of its strongholds, and we believe that because of it, there will be a decline in the ad revenues as well because of it.
The other income constituted 130 crores of extraordinary income. What was the need to sell assets?
So they had sold assets of around 110 crores last year. Year before that, they had other income of around 50 crores. So company has been actually increasing its share of other income in its total income. Whereas if you
was there any specific reason given by the management why they have sold these assets?
Initially they haven't given any specific reason, but we do believe that because they have also done some major acquisitions and they have done the most acquisition of highest value in the industry in the last 3-4 years. So might be because they have sold this kind of the old assets.
You have given emphasis on the macro factor assets. So don't you think that the macro factors are going to improve from here onwards?
So we have taken the GDP, our valuation is medium-term GDP growth rate expectation is from 5.5% to 6.25, and in medium term, say for 3 years to 5 years, we don't expect that GDP will grow at more than 6.5 or 7%.
Don't you think that the ad-driven few cities can be a growth generator for?
Yes, sir. We have taken. If we exclude tier 2 and tier 3, the industry is growing at 8 to 9%. we have incorporated that the main business is from tier 2 and tier 3, and we have given a growth rate of 14%, whereas in last 2 years company has grown by on an average 11 to 12%. So we have incorporated that 40. We have taken that 14, incorporating the election year effect, because the election parties will be giving a lot of advertisement revenue to that.
And we have incorporated the macro factor considering the major categories of the advertisers which are putting their advertisement in the print media, like as auto and real estate sectors which are worst hit as far as the GDP number is concerned, and because of this the ad revenue earnings will be hampered.
And not only for this, the advertisements have fallen for all the, even the English newspaper, the advertisements have fallen. And this is what you showed, that the gap between the English and the Hindi newspaper of the price difference, it has decreased, because the ad revenue for throughout the industry has fallen. For English, it has fallen by more, and for Hindi, it was already very less, and it has fallen a little bit.
And the problem with the company is it has not diversified its revenue base. 89% comes from the print, and out of home contributes 6%, digital only at 2%. And the company lacks a strategic focus on diversifying its revenue base. So that's why we don't think that company is fundamentally strong enough to get into it.
I have two questions. One is, you said that one reason is rising newsprint prices. But I think you also had a graph which showed that their dependence on imported newsprint has gone down very significantly.
Yes, sir.
So don't you think they are already trying to mitigate that risk?
So, so that
Which was in the risk factor, that the risk to the model, that the company is trying to reduce its dependence on the imported material, and if it is able to reduce, so if you look at
the pulpwood prices in India, which is the major constitute.
My basic point is that no say print media company manufactures newsprint. Everybody buys newsprint. So that's a systemic risk for everybody in the industry.
Yes, sir,
The
this
only
is
thing
not-
which this company could do possibly to counter it is to reduce the dependence on imported newsprint. It is mostly done in the last 6-7 years. I guess.
Sir, first of all, they have unhedged their position. They have left their positions unhedged, because of which they have also suffered around 15 crores of forex losses last year. So, yes, the newsprint prices globally are stabilizing down, whereas if we look into the India market, the newsprint prices are increasing, and for the company, the growth.
See, like this is the slide in front of us. In FY5 it was 57%, and now it's 15%. So, don't you think they have already done enough? What more can they do then?
Sir, in each of the other company, all the companies have done this, but the issue is that the indigenous, when the indigenous prices in India are also rising. So in that case, and they have also exposure to the foreign, they have also taken NCDs and ECDs to that. So in this, the risk of exchange risk is still there. Though it has decreased, that would impact them that much, but the operational inefficiency that the company has in the current scenario, that is what we have focused on.
Decreasing reliance on imports will actually lower their exposure to forex losses, but still their exposure to newsprint prices still remains because of the business model. So if newsprint prices rises, they are going to get affected, yes, but because of forex, they are reducing their exposure.
Fine.
Over.
Thank you, Team Narayana. Please take a seat here for the next team. Good morning, everyone. We are Team Harriet Taylor Hill, and we have done the fundamental analysis on Javelin Prakashan Limited. And the outcome is that we have initiated the buy coverage on this stock with a target price of 115.45, which provides an upside potential of 36% from the current market price. Now, how we have arrived at this target price, we'll discuss in the valuation section. Now, the stock has significantly underperformed both the market indices as well as the sectorial indices in the recent past. However, as per our analysis, there is a significant chance of sustained revenue growth, which will cause the stock re-rating and the PE expansion. Right now, the stock is trading at a FY16 forward PE of 11.8. Now, here some of the investment rationale for buying this stock are as follows. Now, there is a significant growth opportunity in the print media industry. The print media have been in a consolidation phase for the past few years, and right now it is going into a growth trajectory. The reason being 70% of the revenue comes from the advertising sector, and advertising is strongly correlated to the GDP. And since the GDP of India has stabilized and it is expected to grow in the coming years, the advertising revenue will grow. Now the second source of revenue is the circulation revenue. Now due to the changes in the demographic changes and development in India, the circulation revenue is also expected to grow and remain at a stable growth rate of around 15%. Now along with this, Jagran Prakashan has also acquired new businesses, which is Midday and Nai Dunya, for the inorganic growth. Now till now it has been posting losses and causing a strain in the balance sheet. However, now these two businesses have also will turn around by FY14. They will turn around and provide a revenue boost from these angles also. Now the next part is that there is a strong case of the regional print media being growing at a higher rate than the English print media. There are many reasons for that. For the demographic structure of India and the elections which are coming, the coming election in the next few quarters, that will also boost the regional print media. So for all these reasons, it will add to the revenue growth for Jagran Prakashan. And last but not the least, Jagran Prakashan have a better capability of controlling costs, both the overhead costs as well as the raw material costs. So all these are the investment rationale for this JPL. So the next slide presents the graphical representation of what all I said, the growth rate of print media industry, the correlation between GDP and the print advertisement as well as the print media revenue, and also the breakup of the readership of the English, Hindi and the vernacular languages in terms of readership as well as the revenue growth. So next we come to the industry analysis, which will be presented by my partners.
Coming on to the growth drivers, the first one is the GDP growth. It's recently seen that in the past year, the GDP hasn't been good, and that's the reason the print industry hasn't performed well. But it's assumed that during the next particular year, the GDP growth will boost up their revenue. The rising literacy and levels among the different states and Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities will certainly be a growth driver. Elections would pose a short-term growth for this sector. There are many new products which are going to be launched in auto, pharma and FMCG sector. Last but not the least, the newsprint prices. It is assumed that this will drop down in the next year, and it does constitute 30 to 40% of the total cost. So it will certainly be a growth driver. Coming to the breakup, the television sector breakup in the overall media segment is 45%, and the print sector is 27%. Whereas if you look at the ad revenues, it constitutes 46% for the print sector, which tells us that the heavily dependence of print sector on ad revenue. Next, coming to the global print prices. Newspaper print prices comprises of two things. One is paper pulp and crude oil. So it is seen that during the past 2 years, 2011-12, these prices have been stable. But during the past 2013, 1 year, it has been increased 3 to 5%. Coming to the quotas analysis, the threat of entrance remains high as there are many new players which would be entering. The customer base, again, there are many new customers present, but the only thing is they remain loyal to one particular segment. So that is not a big threat. The only substitution threat remains is the regional, that is the media, which again is not a big threat in India, as the presence of internet is not that much into Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities. There are many new players, and supply cost, again, it adds to 35% to the total cost average. So again, it is an important factor. This slide just explains the various verticals. The main thing is Jagran Prakashan doesn't have presence into radio and job portals, but on the other hand, over its marketing, it has a big presence. But again, the revenues from these verticals is not that big, it's only 1 to 3%. Shareholding pattern, it's 62% of the promoters. This is not really a good sign having a big promoter shareholding. Apart from that, there are 3 other verticals in which Jagran Prakashan is present. This gives us the comparison of the various ratios. Important ratio to look is PE ratio, wherein it is 10.49, which shows that it is an undervalued company as compared to competitors. ROC and ROE figures, they are not best among the competitors, but also best among the industry. 4 main verticals where Jagran is working on. Main is the print, and main is the revenue which it is earning is through newspapers. SWOT analysis, the biggest strength is average readership is close to 55 million and there are 20 plus editions. The weakness and the biggest threat is it has acquired 2 new firms through operating leverage. So that it has a problem over breaking revenues over it. Opportunities, there are opportunities in South India.
So I start with the financial analysis. If you look at the sales growth, it has been volatile. It can be attributed to the sticky nature of the ad rates and the realization per copy. And the second one, operating and profit margin, the volatility is primarily due to the newsprint prices, which depends upon the exchange rates and depends upon the global market conditions. And viewpoint analysis suggests that the ROE mainly depends upon the profit margin because the sales and asset to equity has been remained constant over the years. And the financial analysis, these are the projections for the future. So we estimated that circulation revenue to grow at 15% and ad revenue to grow at 13%. Primarily ad revenue, it's because economic recovery is imminent, which would push up the ad rates, and the circulation revenue, the readership is expected to increase at a CAGR of 5%, and in addition to the realization per copy is going to increase at the CAGR of 8%, so that justifies the CAGR rates. And this is a cost structure, employee cost, we have maintained it at the constant rate, similar to the past years, and the raw material cost is expected to be increased at the 14% CAGR, and 10% increase is considered as a normal, and 4% is primarily due to the exchange rate rupee depreciation in the recent past. And the financial analysis, and this company is generating a lot of surplus operating cash flows. So that can be attributed, they are going to invest, that money they are going to invest, and which would push up the other income in the coming years. And this is a net working capital trend which is going to increase, and cash flow from operations is about the next 5 to 7 years.
Coming up to the sensitivity matrix, it actually shows on the horizontal sides the return on equity or the cost of equity and continuing the terminal growth rate. So it's just actually the matrix means where actually we can find our price. Next, coming to this is a comparable method. So we have used to find out the price using the P/E ratios, P/book values, and enterprise value by the EBITDA. Dividend growth models to show means how the price is being arrived, and finally we got this. This is actually the prices which by the 3 different methods. Now, since we all know that the companies are actually the creation of this corporate jungle, so how reliable are these methods in explaining the true nature of the company? So there is the specificity matrix which actually tells about the efficiency of this, efficiency of how these valuation methods are. So with respect to the market, with respect to the sector, and with respect to the company. So in a way we find out this probabilities or the expectations means which actually implies the worthiness of our model, and we